We're back from vacation, so let's catch up. Leah and Cat retell stories from their trip to Mexico, while Joelle details her adventures in bread making. And since we're not ready for real life again, Leah reviews her most anticipated game of the year, Fantasy Life I, the Girl Who Steals Time. We attempt to guess them all with the pod game of Plant or Pokémon. To quote Reggie Fils-Aimé, my body is ready. Let's go!
Get ready for the Girls on Games podcast, your weekly dose of news, reviews, and everything video games. Always served with a good helping of hype and just a pinch of salt. And now, your host, Leah.
Hello and welcome to another Girls on Games podcast. My name is Leah. I'm the host of this show. This is episode number 495. And Kat and I are back, refreshed, relaxed. Unfortunately, back at work, but not unfortunately back on this podcast. Catherine, long time no see. How you doing?
I'm good. Yourself?
Excellent. Joelle, truly no. Long time no see. It's been 2
I
weeks.
know. I didn't know what to do with myself. I actually sat in my chair on our usual Monday nights and just talked to myself about games while you were gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just sat there and just mumbled to myself. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to pretend.
We missed you. Even Pascal was like, it's too bad Joelle couldn't be here.
I know. I did get my passport, though, while you were away. So I have it.
All right. Well, you'll just have to come north because we were talking about going to a baseball game, the CNE stuff in Toronto.
Fun.
So maybe we can organize that near the end of the summer.
Oh, hell yeah. That'd be great.
Whee! Okay, let's get through some housekeeping. If you enjoyed this show and you'd like to subscribe, we're available on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Podbean. If you'd like to get some GOG merch, you can do that by going to designedbyhumans.com/shop/girlsongames. Or maybe you'd like to give us a tip, maybe buy us a coffee. You can do that by going to our Ko-fi, that's ko-fi.com/girlsongames. Episode 500 is around the corner, and we want to celebrate with you. Join us for a special community event episode recording and become game master for a round of Game On live on this show. Anyone who would like to take part must plan a podcast game to challenge the GOG crew. Each game can last up to 5 rounds. It must be a new game of your creation, or pick one of the many games we have played in the past, such as Walk Down Memory Card Lane, 2 Truths and a Lie, or 2 Lies and a Truth in my case, Quotable and Notable, and many more. Tons of options and things that other people have come up with are in the dedicated channel in our Discord channel. Submissions will be taken right there. So go on ahead, jump in, communicate with us. Don't tell us what the, don't give us any clues, but you can tell us what type of game that you want to play. That's cool. If you want to contribute, but don't want to be live on the show, no worries. We can organize a podcast friend or previous guest to come and run the game for you. Scheduling. We're back from vacation now. So we have a schedule. Mark your calendars for July 6th, 2025 at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's July 6th, 2025 at 1 p.m. Eastern if you would like to participate in the live recording. We figured that time would be best on all fronts because it wouldn't be too late across the pond and not too early for anybody on the West Coast. So any questions, comments, and ideas are totally welcome. Pitch them our way in that channel. We look forward to playing, laughing, and celebrating 500 episodes with you. On top of all of that, more community stuff. Because you know what? We come back from vacation and it's the Summer Game Fest that's happening and all the different events that are partaking during that time, which used to be E3. Long may we remember E3. Summer Game Fest, the actual press conference, is going to be Friday evening here in East Coast time. So I'm going to open up the We Chattin' or We Watchin' channel. I think it's actually called We Watchin' channel. Around 4:45 Eastern, if anybody wants to jump in and talk and watch along with the show. Additionally, the Xbox Showcase is happening on Sunday, I believe. Is it noon or 1 o'clock? Not sure. I think it might be 1 o'clock. So 15 minutes before, maybe like 12:45 or so. all go into that channel as well if you'd like to watch along with that. And if anybody has their Switch 2 at that point and would like to play a round or two of Mario Kart after we're done that conference, I'm game to jump on and do some races. Maybe some of that Mario Kart knockout. That'll be lots of fun. So, yeah, that's all. It all depends. Does my Switch show up on Friday? Who knows? But lots of different fun things happening over the course of the next few weeks because we are summertime, best time, video game time, between all the new cool announcements, all the different events, plus a console release, plus lots of games coming out. We had a vacation, Cat, but now we're hard at it again, but it's good, right? It was nice to come home from vacation, have something to look forward to.
Indeed.
All right. Joelle, since we were away and we knew what we were at, what were you up to the past 2 weeks?
Well, I definitely got in some well-deserved R&R, so that was good because we had a U.S. holiday. We had Memorial Day, so I had off work, and other people took off, so that made, my workload a little bit easier. And I basically slept. I took a day, and I'm pretty sure, during the day, I probably slept, 6 hours. I just needed to take some Z's. So I did that, and I baked so much bread. I'm overtaking the Discord Girls on Grub channel with all of my bread, but I just baked so much bread.
My question is, are you bringing them to work? Are you eating them yourself? Are you giving them out?
I'm giving them out. I cannot eat them all or I will not fit through my door. But I am definitely giving them away. Also, the bread freezes really well, and so I will slice them and then freeze them. But yeah, I am giving most of them. I do give most of them away. But I don't bring them into work yet because I don't know. I don't feel confident bringing them into work. But I have thought about maybe I'll submit them to the Minnesota State Fair. I've thought about that. Maybe I should bake some.
So what's involved in doing that?
So it's a total home baker contest. So you can't have any storefront or be licensed to sell any of your stuff.
Okay.
So they really want to keep it to home bakers. And the contest is for lots of different categories. They have bagels and muffins and sweetbreads, and then artisan breads and cakes and cookies and all this stuff. So it's a traditional kind of state fair bake, and then you get blue ribbons for first place and things like that. And there's a small pot, I think it's $200 that you can win. And so I think registration is $25 or something, and then you drop off your baked goods the morning of the first day of the fair, and then they judge it, and then you're notified if you won or what your place was. And so I don't know, just was I could get up and bake some bread. And the categories are also very specific. So for the artisan loaves, which I would do for sourdough, you could make a sourdough loaf of focaccia, or I think you can make, there was one more, but it has to be plain. You can't put any flavoring in it. There's a different category if you want to do seeds, and then there's a different category if you want to do fruit. So I was oh, so it is I just was well, I don't know. I've known a few people that have submitted jams and stuff like that, and they like it. They kind of do it every year. And then the ones that win, the jams, she got her recipe printed on a state fair card, and so that she can hand them out. It's an official blue ribbon recipe that she has now, and that's like logged into the state fair book. And then every so often they print the cookbooks of the winners, and so people, they share them. So yeah, so I don't know, I thought, well, maybe, I don't know, might as well
do it.
Yeah. You got that starter for a reason, girl.
I know. I'm oh, so, but yeah, lots of different bread, original sourdough. I made the most amazing cinnamon raisin sourdough.
Shit.
That it was the best bread I've ever made. I can't believe I made that. I was like, you just put it in the toaster. You don't need anything on it. I don't know how I did it on my first try, but that came out like perfect. And then I did a rosemary olive oil loaf. Today I just baked a strawberry banana loaf, and that one didn't taste that great, to be honest. Like, the banana and the fermentation kind of didn't mix like totally well together, but the strawberry did. So I think I might do like a strawberry or just like a berry sourdough. And then there's 2 loaves in the fridge, and they're like a semolina and spice loaf. So like more on the savory, like a rye thing. So anyway, my OCD obsession is now fully channeled into bread.
I saw this meme on TikTok or something. It's like you're in your a millennial in your 30s. Choose one of your 4 houses. One of them was pickleball. One of them was plants. Yeah. One of them was running, and the other one was sourdough.
Yeah. Yeah. I say I'm split between pickleball and sourdough.
You're one of those. You're in 2 different houses. Oh my goodness.
But I don't know. They're turning out really good, and people are responding well to them, and they like them, and they're like, we ate the whole loaf in a day, and I was like, well, all right, well, you're gonna have really good bowel movements, because that's what, like, the fermentation is really good for your digestion,
for your gut,
for your gut. So I was like, well, you're gonna get cleaned out, but yeah. So.
Well, if you do end up submitting, let us know, because we need to follow that.
I know. I'll have to try to commit and then decide what I want to do. So yeah.
Awesome. Kat and I went to
Mexico.
Mexico.
Baked bread.
I love it. It's awesome. I love it. Bread is my favorite thing. If I had nothing to eat but bread, I would be a happy camper.
Me too.
Bread is the best. Bread for everything. Kat, we had 2 weeks off. I don't know about you, but I think it's the first time Mike and I have been off that long, because literally finished on Friday and then started today, Friday the 16th. So, like, with 3 weekends and all of that, like, I don't think I felt this relaxed in a long-ass time. How are you doing? Except for today.
Yeah. So, because like we did Mexico from like Wednesday to Wednesday, but I did like you, like I took the full 2 weeks off, so it gave me like 3 weekends off. Unfortunately, I woke up this morning with a cold.
No,
I got the sniffles.
Not cool.
Yeah. So far so good. Yeah. So far so good. I even wore masks on the plane so I wouldn't get sick. I don't know where it comes from, but it's so far the only symptom I have is the nose. So tomorrow's an in-office day. I might go and wear a mask all day. I'll see how I feel. But yeah, no, the week in Mexico was amazing. That resort was amazing. The food was amazing. Like, I was pleasantly surprised. Like, for resort food, I've never had this good food on a resort.
Yeah, I mean, that was the reason why it's round 3 of going there. And I know my family's particular about food and things like that, just because my mom and my sister are such good cooks, right? And my dad gets the benefit of all of that and eating all of it, and same with my sister's husband. But yeah, food was definitely a big part, because food is a big thing for us. It's not just like we go to dinner, we're gone, we're there 30 minutes, we're out. Like, most restaurants, when all 11 of us were together, because there was 11 that went on this trip, we were there for a good 2+ hours. Because my dad likes his wine, and like they have multiple courses, and then we just love to chat, and yeah. So like every night, like that was our activity outside of going outside and enjoying the live music and events and stuff they had, and in our case, playing Uno in the discotheque.
Yes. Because at one point it was so muggy and hot outside and windy, and I was getting eaten alive by the mosquitoes. Like, by the way, you are a godsend for gifting me that anti-itch cream. I've been using it. I've used it yesterday again, because they
didn't touch me. Not one bite. I'm wondering if it's because of the new skincare that I was doing to keep my tan intact. Maybe that's why.
Oh,
I don't know.
Maybe.
No, I think it's because I was there.
Maybe. Cat's the
taste of
magnet.
your meal.
Cat's the
They
magnet.
were all on me.
Oh.
It was so bad. So going in the discotheque for the AC and the lack of mosquitoes was key.
In there was some other group who were like playing like beer pong on the floor, bouncing the beer ball. But we had, it had all the amenities of the disco. It had the dance floor with the lights going. There was music going. There was a bar, and then we just sat in the corner playing Uno.
And it was too early for there to be people in there because like the live entertainment was not over. Usually the discotheque gets bumping like once the live entertainment's over and people are looking for a bar. So the only two that are open are the discotheque and the outdoor one, the plaza one. So, but I'm going to be honest, like we were not party people. I went to bed early, mostly because I was so goddamn tired by the sun and by the heat, but just like life.
Yes.
It's just like people are like, you're on vacation, live it up. I'm like, exactly. I'm going to sleep 10 hours.
Well, being in the pool was essentially being asleep anyway, because like all we did, like we'd get up, we'd go meet, have breakfast, and then we'd get in the pool by my swim out. And my family, and they're so like gung-ho to go and do stuff, right? My parents did something almost every single day, like some kind of activity or something. And they were like, do you guys want to do it? And I'm like, no, I just want to lay here in the water and have the lady bring me margaritas. Like, that's it.
Also, who can afford to go on an outing every day when you've already spent like this much money on a resort?
I know they were expensive.
Yeah. The point of like, I understand like doing one or two on the span of like the 6-7 days that we were there, but like I paid for the resort.
I paid to use it.
Yeah,
I paid to be in the pool every day. I paid to drink fruity drinks every day. I paid to eat the food that's included.
Yeah. And we did all the activities that were happening. Like Kat and our buddy John went and made ceviche.
Yeah, there was a ceviche making class by the side of the pool at one point, so I learned that.
John went and checked out like the activity center with paddleboarding and things like that. But the pièce de résistance was the fact that we bullied, and I'm going to say bullied, because we peer pressured John into doing the push-up challenge at the foam party. And he came in third and was fucking robbed.
He was robbed because the other two had shit form. And the guy who won was basically had a full arch in his back. I was like, I was doing that to fix my lower back. Like, you're supposed to be straight, guy. You're fixing a herniated disc. What the fuck, bro?
Yeah, that was...
And I remember, like, John was walking back, and behind us were, like, 3 of the biggest dudes. Like, I think they were football player, to be honest.
Yeah, they...
With their very thick American accent, just went, John, like, you were robbed. You had the best form.
They cheated.
Most consistent. Those people, like, they didn't hold their form. They were cheating. And they were just, like, around him, like, hovering over him. They were so massive, just being like, you should have won, bro. Hyping him up. Like, I love that moment for him.
And I caught that all on video, too, which is great. That challenge was freaking hard, too. Because, like, they started where they asked 10 people to get up on stage, 10 men to get up on stage. They did a dancing competition with the women earlier, and they all had to do, like, a dance intro, like, a few seconds, but then the girls had to dance, and that was the actual competition.
It was a
for the men, a twerking essentially. So the men get up, and, like, I don't know if they realized what they were getting up for, but some people must have known, because they said 10 strong men or whatever. So they go down the line, and John's about, like, 6th, and he stands up, and they make him, like, say his name. He's like, I'm Jonathan from Canada, and made them dance, and he danced to I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred, and it was fucking hilarious. And then they had to do the push-up challenge. All 10 of them went, and they were doing it, and they would go up, down, up,
oh my god,
down. He did that at least 70 times over the course of it until he was finished. Yeah, in the fucking 33-degree heat, which was probably more like 40-something. Yeah, in the 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was super impressed with John.
After, like, this was on the Saturday, so we had a couple days of day drinking in there, by the way.
We had day drink that day.
Yes. Because it was like 4 p.m. when it happened.
Oh my God, it was priceless. So yeah, that was fun. And it was great. It was just great having everybody down there, and, you know, considering all different ages, you know, definitely 2 groups.
Yeah.
And some folks doing activities, some like us being total sloths. And it's exactly what I needed and what I wanted to do with some awesome folks. But yes, Joelle, you were very much missed.
Yeah, I sat here and held the fort down, but I was sad. That's okay.
I did have one adventure, though, in video gaming. 2 sad adventures. First off, we could not find the sim rig at the airport, so unfortunately, it was gone. So unfortunately, Mike could not play sim racing on his way home and kill everybody because he was really curious to see how much better he got this year. But I had downloaded Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time in preparation, pre-ordered it, had it downloaded, tried at midnight, game wouldn't launch. Tried at 4 a.m. when I woke up to get in the airplane to get ready. Game wouldn't launch. It kept saying that it wasn't time yet. I'm like, it's fucking May 21st. I want to play this. I have a 4-hour flight. And didn't work. 6 a.m. just before leaving the house. Didn't work. Got to the airport. Connected to the airport Wi-Fi. Didn't work. Just before I got on the airplane went off. Tried again. Didn't work. I was so mad that it wasn't working. And I think it's because maybe Nintendo games like force a start date time at like 8 a.m. or something like that. And we had taken off just before all of that. So that was annoying. But then I finally got to play when I got to Mexico. But then honestly, didn't really touch it until the flight home, and played a little bit. But I was finding that on the small screen, it was kind of hard to read some of the stuff. And sometimes we had some wicked turbulence on the way back, too.
Same. Oh, my God, same.
Same day we all flew, so maybe it was just a weather system going through.
Yeah, because we landed and it was like the shittiest weather in Montreal as well. It was raining.
Yep.
Okay, the way back was like so annoying because we get to the Cancun airport and then we line up. I flew Sunwing, so we line up at the little sun. There's nobody there, so we're all waiting, and everybody's pouring in for this Montreal flight because the hotels are pouring people in with the transfers at the same time, right? So that people are like 3 to 2 hours before their flight. So we're sitting there waiting for 20 minutes for the Sunwing employees to open the counter. And then we have this epic lineup. And we have this woman who has a child who is screaming on the top of his lungs.
Oh, dear.
She's in the middle of the line.
Oh, dude.
She is boxed in.
Oh.
And this kid, nothing will soothe them.
Oh.
And now we're just like, so now she's trying to like negotiate with people. Okay, like I'm gonna like get out of the line. So she's like, hey, can you, like, trying to see if her husband and like I guess they're the in-laws or her parents like just negotiate. She leaves with the baby and they come in. But then they open the counter, and one of the Sunwing employees was an absolute legend. Went in the line, ushered them out, and put them in the counter first through the express line for the members. She was like, members are going to wait. We're going to get this screaming child out. I was like, oh, thank God. Because then we were stuck in an epic line.
Yeah.
Because the hotels corralled us to the airport before the Sunwing employees were ready to like. Because one of the ladies got out of line, went to the other counter that had employees. They were like, oh, they should be here like within 10 minutes. And we're like, okay, but like, damn. And that baby was unfortunately on my flight, and we had like 2 hours straight of turbulence.
Oh no!
And we had a flight full of kids, and then they were like, "Oh, you can't get up to go to the bathroom." I'm like, "Tell that to a fucking 4-year-old."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I get it's a safety issue. So at one point, the flight attendants had to make a few exceptions, just because they were like, kids cannot hold it.
Yeah.
Beyond a certain time, right?
Yeah.
And these were like 8-year-old, 10-year-olds. So anyway, every time there was no more turbulence, people would like fucking book it for the bathrooms. It was so bad. They didn't even finish their service throughout the flight because they had to sit down. They couldn't do service because of the turbulence was so bad.
Yeah, it was really bad at one point. I was trying to play and I had to put it away. I was just like, I can't.
Yeah. And I put my headphones in, I put music, I took my gravel, and I passed out for 2 hours. I wake up, this kid is crying. I'm like, whatever. But Pascal is just sitting there. He had not brought his headphones.
Oh,
so
no.
I dig into my purse, and I always have my loop earplugs in from work.
Yeah.
And I just handed it to him, and he was like, "Oh, thank you." I was like, "What are you doing without headphones?"
How did you
on
not
vacation?
the
On
airplane?
vacation.
Whoa! It's next level.
All he had was this fucking book.
Oh my god.
Anyway, but
You
yeah,
need to go on more flights. That's what that tells me, is that you need to fly more.
that flight home was terrible for that.
Oh, no.
And there's nothing the airline can do.
No.
Right.
There's nothing the airline
No.
can do. You know, the other
Yeah.
thing the airline can't do is deal with terrible passengers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's 3 and 3 on each side of the airplane. So Mike was amazing. Before we left on Tuesday, we decided to do, because we had already dropped the dog off, so we were like, we're going to do a hims and her kind of date day. So we went and got mani-pedis. We went for lunch, poked around the mall, and then came back and packed. And when we were doing mani-pedis, obviously a lot faster for Mike, and then he started like poking around, checking us in on the flights and doing all this kind of stuff. He went and upgraded our seats. So we ended up going premium class on the way, whatever they call it. It's not business class, it's just premium seats or whatever. So we were sitting up front, just the two of us, bigger space, bigger leg room, and it was glorious. On the way back, we had the ones next to the wing, so we had a bit more space, but we were, back or whatever. But there was 3 seats, and then a lady comes last minute and sits next to me just before we're like about to, like, they're closing the doors and everything. So anyways, she looked surly to begin with, right? So it's Mike at the window, me in the middle, and this lady. And then she looks surly, and they go and do service. She puts up her hood, puts on her glasses, puts in her headphones, and kind of like goes to sleep. We assume she's going to sleep, because why else would you do that, right? So anyways, they come up, they do service. I buy a sandwich, get a drink, whatever. And then when they come back to pick stuff up, this lady got pissed off that they didn't wake her up and started yelling at the flight attendant, and like yelled at the flight attendant and asked for her last name, and then started yelling at her even more because she wouldn't do stuff and getting really pissed off. And then the lady was like, she was collecting garbage, right? And took mine and whatever. And the lady had hers on her table because they brought drinks first and then food afterwards, right? And then she didn't see it or didn't pick it up, or also the lady didn't hand it to her. So she was like, well, why wouldn't you take this? You're supposed to be doing it. Why are you disregarding me or whatever? And she was like, well, you didn't hand it to me. I didn't know if you were done, right? And she just started getting really pissy and everything.
God.
And I was like, oh, fuck, there's going to be a domestic on here. There's going to be a problem. She's sitting right next to me. I was this close to turning to her and just being like, yo, chill out. Like, they're just doing their job. You could have just nicely asked, oh, apologies, I was asleep. Can I have something to eat? Like, god damn.
Because you pay for the food on this flight. They'll come back.
Yes.
They will come back with the ATM machine and sell you a sandwich.
She was so pissy the whole flight after that. And I was just like, oh my God, this is not who I want to sit next to. And I felt so bad for the poor stewardess. I was like, I apologize that person's a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But yeah, it was a fun trip. I'm glad we got to connect on it. It was so nice seeing you, Kat. IRL. Okay.
It was amazing.
Fantasy Critic. I'm going to power through this wicked fast, but there's been a lot of movement because obviously we didn't record for 2 weeks. I'm just going to say across the board, no bids, no drops for anybody. But we have, because we talked about this in the beginning, enabled the super drop. So now everybody has the ability to have one oopsie daisies and completely delete something. So I removed my counter pick for Mario Kart World. Kat, Joelle, you now see it. If you want to use it, it's on the left-hand side. You can go in and do that. The exact same thing is available in the Community League. So everybody gets one oopsie. Additionally, because this also happened while we were away, and then I was talking to Kyle about it today, what happens when a game releases, but there are not enough Open Critic, or not enough reviews submitted to Open Critic for them to produce an actual number? So in that case, it's a free drop. Just to keep it fair. Because it's like, how do you know that that's not, the game came out, maybe a review, just not enough on Open Critic. That's not something we can deal with. So, like, there is just an open drop. on the or free drop on those. So that only happens if after X number of days nothing comes out. I think Kyle was using like 2 weeks or something to do it, just so that, because that doesn't make sense. You can't. That's not something we control, nor the video game publishing control. That's just an error on the technology we're using. So why penalize people, right? And because it's going to get more and more complicated trying to track down games they're going to release in 2025 in the Community League, I think it will be less of a problem for us in our league, but for the community, because there's so many of us and there's so many you have to rank, there's only so many options going to be left out there. This weekend is going to be a hot button time to pick games. Just putting that out there. The Fantasy Critic website is probably going to crash a few times. So be prepared for bidding. All right. Points. In the podcast league, Elden Ring Night Rain released on May 30th. It was on Joelle's list, a critic of 80, points 10. Sea of Stars, Throes of the Watchmaker. I don't know why I had a hard time reading that. That also came out May 20th. That was on Joelle's list. Critic 87, points 17. And then Doom the Dark Ages, which was on my list. Critic 85, points 15. So when it comes to the league, I'm in the wrong league. Let me click on the right in the podcast. We are currently sitting at myself in first, Kat in second, and Joelle in third. Kat and I both have 6 games released. Joelle has 3. So that's lots of moving and shaking. There's a lot coming out. Joelle, you essentially have a very big June between Mario Kart, Date Everything, and Death Stranding. You're full tilt. And then the next one, Donkey Kong Bonanza is also you. And then the one after that, Metal Gear Solid. So like as we get through the summer, you're going to have tons of games. Deltarune's the next one out for Kat, which comes this Friday. All right. On to, now I got to my doc back up again. Community League. All right, so real quick. Phoenix had Elden Ring Night Rain. Critic 80, points 10. Kat had F1 25. Critic 10, 80, points 10. Critic 10. Damn, that would suck. I'm glad it's not. Mike's playing that game. It definitely didn't get a 10. It's 80, sounds about right. Phoenix also had Fuga, Melodies of Steel 3, critic of 79, points to 9. Blades of Fire was on Pat's list, and I failed to see that one and didn't put in the points. Let's go find it. Where's Pat in this? Oh, wait, I'm in the wrong league. Oh, God damn it. Sorry, guys. This is me failing at doing this podcast. Let's find Pat's list. Here we go. Blades of Fire, critic 72, points 2. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. I actually picked it up on my list. Critic 86.16. Monster Train 2 was on Jessica's list. Critic 89.19. Ooh, curious. 89. Sea of Stars, Throes of the Watchmaker was on mine. Critic 87.17. Doom the Dark Ages was on Jessica's Stars. Critic 85.15. Like I mentioned, both cases, no bids, no drops. So, in the Community League, the ratings currently are Pat's in first, then Margot, Albane, Jessica, myself, Kat, Staysby Kingsby, Ross, Phoenix, Snake Fred, NJK, Darth Stridius, Simon, and Joelle. Joelle, you've had no games released yet. How is that possible?
I don't know. I'm not worried about it.
You've got one that's locked because it was counterpicked by Kat, but it's also not released. That's our wonderful Grand Theft Auto 6. And then Marvel's 1943 Rise of Hydra, it will not release this year.
Not release. Yeah, I could drop one, but I want to know what else is coming out, because a part of me would rather have a 0 than like a negative.
Yes.
So I want to kind of, a part of me is like, I'm just going to wait. We're hitting the hot streak here. So I'm going to see what
some of the people, out. Their lists are getting full. So
yeah, that's it.
Yep.
The community list is getting wicked full. So like, that's it. And We've got a full weekend
Yep.
of game announcements and stuff. So God only knows what's going to happen. But pro tip on my end, don't bother to attempt to try and go and bid on anything until like Monday or Tuesday because the system fucking crashes every single time. So just take a note, bookmark it before podcast recording next week. All right. This is a video game podcast. And we like to play games. So let's play a podcast game about video games. Woo-hoo. This week on Game On, Catherine is bringing us a round of Pokemon or plant name. It's funny because we were talking about this when we were in Mexico.
Yes. I think this game is an endless source of inspiration. So I have 5 actual factual plant name and 5 grass type Pokemon.
Oh.
It might not be
great.
a pure grass type. It could be a subtype because now they got more than one type. But you have to tell me if it's an actual plant, something that can be grown in your house or in your garden, or a Pokemon. And again, there's no rhyme or reason. I put them in alphabetical order.
Okay.
So our first entry is Comfrey.
Pardon?
Comfrey.
Calm? Like, okay. Not palm.
Comfre?
Why? Might be Comfrey. Maybe I'm not pronouncing it wrong.
That's a Pokemon.
Okay. I was going to say that's a Pokemon.
It is a plant that grows
Damn
up
it!
to 1.2 meters tall and is known for its medicinal uses, especially in treating wounds and inflammation.
There may be a Pomfrey, though, Joelle. I think you're right. When you were asking that, that's what I was wondering, too, if that was it. I was like,
A Pomfrey. I was just like, yeah. You know, I'm going to know so many Pokemon names and not have yet to play the Pokemon franchise game. All right.
I'm seeing if I can find it now. No, I'll have to look up later. But I'm sure there's something with palm in it. Anyways. Okay, go ahead.
Most likely. I just go through the... I started to curate these because going through the entire list of Pokemon every time, I can't do this.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
too many.
Yeah, no.
So our second entry is Crawdilly.
Fraudilly?
Crawdilly. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Spell
What
it.
does it start with? Yeah.
Use it in a sentence.
Use it in a sentence, please.
I grew and or caught a Crawdilly in my backyard. Cradilly.
A Crawdilly? Like, I feel like that could be a Pokemon, because that would make sense, like, to mash up a Crawdad and a Lilypad, or...
I'm saying no. I think it's a plant.
I think I'm going to say it's a Pokemon.
It is a Pokemon. It's a
Oh,
grass
good for you!
fossil Pokemon introduced in Generation 3.
Nice. Tree. Catherine has been around the Newfies too long.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. He looks like he's on grass, as he's a grass type.
Yeah. All right. Next entry. Dogwood.
Well, that's a plant.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a plant too.
It is. It's a tree that grows up 12 meters tall and are known for their beautiful white or pink flowers. They are commonly used in landscaping, and their bark has traditional medicinal uses for fevers and pain relief.
Oh.
Yep.
Dogwood tree. That makes sense.
Yep.
Our next entry is Emmer.
Can you spell it?
Emmer. Emmer.
I think that's a plant.
See, it's so short of a name, too, that I feel like, because Newfies like to put, like, weird names on plants, too. So, like, sometimes that's throwing me off.
Okay.
Yeah, like, we were talking about there's a berry home called a cloudberry, but we don't call them cloudberries. We call them bake apples, because why? I don't know. But anyways, we were talking about that when we were away, too. Pokemon plant, Pokemon plant, Pokemon plant. Plant.
Is a plant.
Woo!
Hey.
Emmer, also known as farro, grows up to 1.5 meters tall and produces grains used in salads, soups, and breads.
That's farro. Okay.
It's an ancient grain high in fiber and protein.
This farro is very good for you. I didn't know that its name was also Emmer. but now I do.
We're learning with this game.
So many. So
Who would've
I
thought?
learn every time.
Do 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 do.
Yes.
The more you know.
Indeed. Indeed.
All right, our next entry is Lurantis.
That's a Pokemon.
That's a Pokemon.
It's a grass-type Pokemon introduced in Generation 7.
Sounds like a poison or bug type plus grass.
Yeah,
With big
Rant-
pincers.
The Rantis, yeah.
It's just a grass type, apparently.
Okay. Does it look like a praying mantis?
I don't remember. I don't have a photo. You have the link to Bulbapedia for the Lurantis.
Lurantis.
It's either that or Cerebi. Yeah, it kind of looks like a bug.
Cool.
It's the pink one. It evolved from Fermantis.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They all kind of look like praying mantises and things. Yeah. It's with pink flowery like things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can picture it.
All right, Lurantis was that one. All right, next one. Ogerpon.
Okay, Joelle, we have to do a quick think now because my brain is a sieve. How many plants have we already had and how many Pokemon have we already had?
We've had more plants than Pokemon.
Yeah, okay.
Ogerpon.
Ogerpon. P-O-N?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it's a Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
It's a grass-type legendary Pokemon introduced in Generation 9
Yeah.
in the teal mask. And it has many subtypes. You can get a grass, fire subtype, grass, water subtype, stuff like that.
Cool.
Isn't grass and fire against each other? How can you be both of those? Grass and water makes sense.
They're very complicated and complex beings.
I
they're
see that. That's where they're
legendary.
legendary.
That's
Okay.
right.
I think I was going to say.
Yes.
Listen,
Dualities.
you can ask the people that made the 9th generation. I think they were running out of
Dear
ideas.
Pokemon Company, I need to know.
Actually,
I need lore.
I need lore behind this. And they were like, oh, well, let me give you the lore. Here's the Pokemon lore. And then we're like, my mind, what is this? Kingdom Hearts? Okay. Anyways, next.
what is this Kingdom Hearts?
This is why I love this game. Oh, shit.
All right. Oh, whew.
That was good.
Moving on from that. I don't know if we can, but we will try.
Never move on. Never let go.
Philodendron.
What?
Philodendron. Maybe philodendron?
Philodendron, that's a
Philodendron?
plant.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there, too. I mean, there is a... No, it's not called that. I think it's a plant.
It is a plant.
Hey!
It's a large genus of flowering plants in the family of Araceae, I think that's how you pronounce it. The name derives from the Greek words philo, love, affection, and dendron means tree. The generic name philodendron is often used as the English name.
Philodendron.
Yeah, I knew dendron meant plant in Greek, so I was like, I'm pretty sure that's a plant.
Okay.
Hey, my ancient Greek comes in handy. Yeah.
Maybe your ancient Greek and Latin might actually call me up on my bullshit in this game.
Yeah, I am. My ears are perked now. I'm like, oh, all right.
How many have we had, Kat? 8? 6? 8? We've done 8.
We have 3 left, so 7.
7 left. Split the difference.
Yeah. So our next entry is Rosalia.
That's a Pokemon.
Is that a Pokemon?
It's a Pokemon introduced in Generation 3, Grass Poison.
Is that... Okay, question for you. Is that where it's green, she has roses in both hands, and her head's a rose?
I think
Is that
so.
Rosalia?
I think
Okay, so...
Yes, it is.
I love when there's a phenomenal Drag Race reference. So this is currently All Stars 10 live. That's airing right now on
Paramount Plus?
RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, yeah.
And All Stars. And there is a queen named Aja who does a lot of cosplay, and her entrance look was that Pokemon.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it.
dressed as
Aja All
Rosalia.
Stars 10 entrance look. see if I can find it for you. Images. I'm pretty sure it was her entrance look. Yes, it was. Holy fucking God, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and if you're interested in that kind of show, this season is phenomenal. It's so good.
Okay, ladies, in our chat here now, where the heck is the chat button? There it is. Take a gander at the gloriousness that is Aja, because that freaking outfit. As soon as I saw it, I knew it was a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we can add that to the... I'll put that in so that we can
She did
reference it.
Roserade. Is that a...
is it Roserade?
Yeah, I think it's...
Roserade?
It's probably
maybe it's
an evolution.
Evolution?
She did
It is the evolution?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was in the same family. I was close.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyways, yes, All-Stars, RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars this season is fucking killer.
It is.
All right. Next one.
Sarina.
Like S-A?
Tsareena. Sarina.
I feel like that's a plant.
It sounds too namey to not be a plant, like too much like you're walking in, like it wants to sound like a Pokemon, but it's not.
Because what kind of
Pokemon.
Pokemon would that be?
I don't know.
A grass-type Pokemon introduced in Generation 7.
God
Damn
damn
it.
it. How do you spell it again?
Sarina. Tsareena.
Oh.
What do you look like? Oh, it's that one.
Also
Okay.
would do a great drag queen costume.
Oh
I was
my
gonna
God.
say,
so
that
many
one-
Pokemon would do a great drag queen outfit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Actually, there's a TikToker that I saved a thing for. I think they were doing Pokemon. Let me find that. Do. Ignore the fact that my TikTok just started to play. I'm going to have to send you guys this one too. Once I find it. They were doing like high fashion versions. Yes. Of different Pokemon. Okay, stop playing the music. So another one that I'm going to, I'll have to put this one in Discord though. Where's Discord? Because this is too good. That's Discord. Not general chat. Podcast group. Check out this artist who does these phenomenal, like, high fashion illustrations of Pokemon. If they were like, that's a beetle. And look at this one as one of the ghost type Pokemon. So they have the Pokemon in the corner and they show these off. Look, Ghastly.
Oh, it's so cool.
They're so
like,
nice.
they're
They've
like
done a whole bunch.
She did
Yeah, they're
Rosina.
like the sketches. They're like the sketches of
Look,
like,
yeah. There you go. There's the drag queen version.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So yeah, more things for us to show you off of the stuff that shows up in my social media feed because I am a nerd.
Nerd.
All right, our last one.
Last one. Yep.
Valerian.
Pokemon.
I'm gonna piggyback off of Leah's confidence.
Valerian grows up to 1.5 meters tall and
Yeah.
is known for its calming properties, often used in teas and supplement to improve sleep and reduce anxiety.
All right.
Its
Joelle?
distinctive earthy smells.
Joelle, you know what you learned here, right?
I
Don't listen to me.
well, you're the Pokemon, and you were so
There are 1,000 of them.
you were so sure.
This is what I love about this game because I have an absolute Pokemon fangirl and somebody who's never played, and you guys are guessing just as much. It doesn't matter. Leah and Joelle are all guessing.
Best game ever.
I like how there is infinite amounts of categories with blank versus Pokemon.
Yes.
Yeah, it is honestly.
It's
I
funny.
have 2 more tabs to this document, and I'll keep adding. But this is my favorite game so far.
I know, it's the
so
best.
funny.
Anybody can play this game. Anybody can play this game. We were doing with my dad the other day at the table because I was explaining to him how we do this game and what we're doing for episode 500, right? And explaining to him, I was like, we played this game. There's this one game, Dad. And I was like telling him about this because the one that I had seen online was the version of infectious disease or Pokemon.
Yeah.
And it's like, or medicine or
Yeah.
pharmaceutical or Pokemon. Yes.
Infectious disease.
And they were doing this game with like med students.
Yes.
And professionals.
So you can stop anybody with this game.
That's hilarious. I love that. That is so funny.
Fantastic. All right, ladies, let's take a wee break. Then we'll come back with some rapid fire news and a question from the community Discord. We'll be right back. And we're back. Time to talk about what everybody is playing, because being off for 2 weeks, being on vacation, mean there's lots of time to get hands on controllers and other games of different natures. We already talked about the fact that Kat and I played a fair chunk of Uno. Yay for board games and card games. But I'm more curious to know how things are going on the video game realm. As Kat, how goes your Dragon Age adventure?
I finished it this weekend.
Woo!
And yeah, so I finished my second run of Veilguard. And I finished it and I was like, I feel I missed a few pieces. Like I didn't get the two last chests in the lighthouse and stuff like that. And I was like, I already have like really good gear and stuff, and I'm already max level. I'm just gonna finish this fucking game. And while I was playing this, Pascal sent me a video from one of his favorite YouTuber called Noah Caldwell Gervais, or Gervais, I guess, because he's American.
Gervais.
And he does these long form video, and he's like, oh, well, you should check out this 6 hour and 40-minute long video about a thorough look at Dragon Age. Like all 4 games, including every expansion in Origins, which is like 5 of them. And I was like, bet. So Sunday morning, I get up. Just some context. I got tattooed on my leg on Friday, because why not? Around my knee. So I couldn't really walk.
Oh, that had to be so tender. Looked gorgeous, but has to be
so
pretty
cool.
tender.
It still is, because right now it's at the scabbing phase, so I don't have full range of motion. So I didn't go to the gym or shit like that, and I was starting to feel shitty, so foreshadowing. So Sunday morning, I wake up bright and early because I spent the last week sleeping, so I get up. I finished Dragon Age, and I'm like, should I start Clair Obscura? And I'm like, oh, I'll have a look at this video, and maybe like I'll watch it, like bit by bit. I watched it throughout all of Sunday. Like I started in the morning and I finished like just before going to bed. I watched it in chunks, and it's amazing. And
Can you put it in the chat in the thing? I want to check it out.
yes,
And is essentially like walking you through the story of everything that happens throughout all 5 games.
and he reviews it. He's also a game reviewer, right?
Oh shit! Okay, cool.
So put it here. DA review and retrospective.
Cool.
And it from what I like, and the one thing I gathered, because he went and defended Veilguard a bit, because it got a lot of the criticism for Veilguard was like, it's got bad writing, and he was like, no, it's got inconsistent writing, because the main quest is dope as fuck. It was like, oh, I don't like the Joss Whedon style banter that they put in this game. Like, you clearly haven't played like some of the Mass Effects, or the Inquisition, like the Trespasser DLC, because it started there. Like, he's got all the receipts, and he addresses the inconsistencies in every game. And the point he makes is every Dragon Age game is a standalone game with its own story and mechanic, yet there's a through line that is masterfully woven. And after playing all 4 games one after the other, and the big thing that I think I missed is I did not play all the DLCs.
Oh,
because
you had to cut it off somewhere.
Well, also, I just grabbed whatever was on Game Pass, right?
Right.
Except for the Trespasser DLC, because that feels like the true end of Inquisition. So I missed a lot of like Anders from Dragon Age 2. He's in one of the Origins DLC. Stuff like that. And then also, and I saw that I missed some because he does a great through line, and I'm like, he's right. Like, between all these games that are made by all different people, and a lot of people left BioWare in between all of these games. Like, we're talking about like a Dragon Age Origin is what, like 2008? I want to get my math right, which I never do anyway. Yeah, 2009. So we're in 2025. So that's 2010 to 15, 16 years? 17?
What'd you say it was? 28? Or 2008?
2009.
14 years.
14 years.
No, 16 years. No, it's the other way around. Add 1 because of the 9, yeah.
Yeah, 16 years. Same age as my cat. I should be getting this math right. How, like, a lot of people come and went, right? But they kind of, like, kept an essence through it all. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like, he, especially during his Veilguard reviews, he talks about, like, these points in the story that feel very Dragon Age. This long rant to say that when he presents Origins is a low fantasy game, a dark fantasy game. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fucked up shit. It starts with a regicide. It starts with you getting in trouble, no matter the origin story, because the point is you get kicked out and you have to join the Wardens. And the Wardens is basically this organization where you drink Darkspawn blood to absorb some of the taint of the Blight. And not everybody survives this. And if you survive this, congrats, you're a Warden. And eventually, that blight in your blood will drive you crazy, and you will go to die in Deep Roads. If you don't die yourself killing the Archdemon.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and it's a very political game about the world politics. It's very dark. But it came out in 2009. And then, Veilguard, the main, like, a lot of us Dragon Age fans, what we felt is like people are like, it's a political game because there's like queer people and black people and blah blah blah, and we're like, there's not enough politics in Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Like, you have all of these factions, you have these gods that are destroying an empire that's known for like fucking slavery and blood magic. Like, we're like, where is the politicking from like Origins and Dragon Age 2? But it is a game that is to a point naively optimistic. You know, it's about believing in the light and believing in heroes and shit like that. And when I look about the state of the world and the history of BioWare and just the history of game devs, like at one point it's just like, it feels like they made a game that was optimistic because the world is so fucking dark right now. And I think it's funny. Or I think it shows in the contrast of like Dragon Age Origins was a very dark game at seemingly a lighter time or a better time?
Well, no. In 2008, it would have been the recession.
Yeah, the recession. That was a big.
So
in the
yeah,
US,
but it would
yeah.
maybe a lot of the writing was done in advance of that, and they were just finishing up if it released in 2009. But like they always talk about, that's like the housing crisis.
Yeah,
I guess in the U.S.
I suppose most of this was done in Canada, but still, we felt a little bit of that burn.
But yeah, I remember 2008 is when I moved to Montreal, and it was also like Obama had just been elected. I know
there was hope. Yeah,
there was a glimmer of hope before the recession hit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I remember from that time.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the darkness could have been just coming out of 9/11 too, right? Yeah. Like, I just think about when they're building these games, right? And coming up with names.
Colored glasses. But I feel like Dragon Age Origin came at a time when the world felt less dark. Or maybe it's because I was younger. But when I think about like Origins, playing Origins today, and then with Veilguard, I don't know, like nowadays, I think Veilguard is a game for today. A game where people need the hope. And yeah, they need the tooltip. Because one of his biggest complaints was like, the tooltip's telling you what your choice affects in the game. He's like, you know, I'm paraphrasing what he says because he's very verbose and he's very good. But it's like, he felt it was almost patronizing. I'm like, have you seen the level of media literacy these days, my guy? In the era of ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if these tooltip appear in game, it was tested and validated with players in play tests. Like, I'll give you, Noah, I'll give you a window into game dev. none of these shit goes in the game without being tested. Like, a lot of these UX stuff are put in because you realize fucking people can't keep a through line going. You and I, we grew up on CRPGs. Yeah, we can keep thinking about that, or we can remember that, or at the very least Google it, because if we forgot it because we're old and we don't have time to play games. But I think it's just an interesting window into evolution. Like, just seeing that it's not just the evolution of Dragon Age, it's the evolution of the genre, but it's also an evolution of the industry and how people consume games. And, you know, like, Origins was a great game, but it was also, like, I'm sorry, all those DLCs, what a fucking money grab.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the same for DA2 and Origins. At least Veilguard, they were like, we're just going to put all the content in one game. Yeah, it's $90, but we're not going to ask you for an extra 10 here and an extra 15 there.
Yeah,
and an extra...
yeah. It's all there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot there.
Yeah. Mind you, nowadays you can buy these, you know, Game of the Year edition or Ultimate edition, and you get them all, and, you know, they're old games, so, you know, you don't pay over $50 for the bundle. But this video, anyway, I subscribe to this guy. His videos are great. Just the expose and how he felt about these games and how he felt when he first played them versus how he's feeling replaying them now as an adult was really, really, really interesting. And after, like, doing my own retrospective, watching this 6 hours video, I can finally say I'm putting Dragon Age to rest for a while, guys. I'm good. I'm satiated. I am.
Good.
BioWare, don't get me wrong. More Dragon Age, please. Keep making Dragon Age games. Absolutely. And we will be happy. I know people will yell online, or maybe people will fall off the franchise. But I will play any type of Dragon Age you want to make. And don't just go in it knowing it's going to be a single player. Because the multiplayerness of it in Veilguard shows up. Because, like, honestly, like, Veilguard has the best combat, not the best story. Some of the best levels and the best reversals. So the stuff that feels wonky, you can tell because, like, for multiplayer games, you're more into the mechanics, you're more into the combat, you're more into the maps because people will be on them a lot. I agree with Noah on that. Like, it shows up. But it's still a great game. Still a good game. And we finally ended the story of Solus, so we can move on.
Hopefully we can move on.
Yes. But yeah, so...
Suivant next.
Next is Clair Obscur. Expedition 33.
And was that because Pascal and I were speaking so highly of it when we were sipping our margaritas in the pool?
Everybody I meet that knows I play game and own an Xbox and a Game Pass account, they're like, you're playing Clair Obscur, right? I'm like, no, I'm not done my Dragon Age playthrough. And they're like, you've already played Dragon Age. So I'm like, shut up. I don't want to talk about it right now. It is podcast content, but also, yes, I'm obsessed. But yeah, I will finally play the French game.
I will play the French game.
Speaking of said French game, Joelle,
Yeah.
are you done?
Oh my gosh, I am not done. Okay, the theme for the last, like, year and a half of like turn-based combat has been holy endgame. Like,
because the end game just comes up to bite you in the ass?
It is that, and it takes forever.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought, because they're like, okay, you're going to start this, and it's not, like, super obvious, but they're like, we're going to go. This is the end game. You won't be able to turn back, or you won't be able to go back to the map. And then I'm like, 20 hours later, I'm still doing it. And it does, this game will punish you if you do not grind. So I'm at the final boss. I am just trying to get my timing right. So I am way underleveled, and I'm not going to grind up. So I'm just trying to dodge everything. And then hopefully finish the story. So I'm hoping to get there. I have some reservations about a few things, so I'm gonna wait until like I finish the game. But I mean, overall, it's fantastic. Like, I think it's in my top. I think it's in like my top 5 games of the year so far. So yeah,
excellent.
But the ending is wild. Like, just be prepared. Be prepared. Did you finish it, Leah?
No, because I was in the middle of it, so I was playing a lot of it in the weekend leading up to traveling, and then obviously didn't have my console. And then started playing Fantasy Life, the girl who steals time.
Yes.
And that has been nothing but my life since Friday. So
Yep.
Wednesday, played a little bit on the flight home. Thursday, played a little bit, ended up had to go pick up the dog. So came back, played a little bit that night. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, did some odds and ends, watched an F1 race, but essentially just played Fantasy Life. Like 32 hours I have in it already. It is everything I wanted this game to be. I was really worried that where we had not heard very much and that it had been delayed and like no one was really saying anything about it. Like even the YouTubers and stuff that I follow, like no one was really talking about it until like the week up to the game because they had they barely shown a thing about this game. And I adored the previous game on the DS and was stoked when finally, because that was something I was always like hoping we were going to get another game. And I totally understand why it took them the time to do it. This game is essentially Zelda meets Animal Crossing meets Assassin's Creed RPG kind of stuff and mini games all smushed together, and there's probably some other reference in there that I missed as well, because you are a character that gets magically transported to this different time in the past, and you have to take on different lives. Lives are essentially a job system. There are 3 different types. There is a combat type, a gathering type, and a crafting type. And they are all interconnected. So within that, you level up your character, you gain abilities, and you go out and try to get yourself back to your current present time. It has wicked open world to the point where there's a whole section that just kind of feels like Zelda Breath of the Wild on its own in a different land, where you can go and you can like level up that area. Like you can start with the area really low and then level it up to have higher combat and higher items that you can go and get. That is like, you could borderline totally miss that just continuing playing the entire story of the game. And people are even talking about it. I'm 32 hours in. I am really going through and trying to master and work through it and do every different job, every different life. And there's 14 of them. Mm-hmm. And I'm 30 hours in, have not played any multiplayer, and everybody's saying that after the story finishes and when the game really starts. And I'm like, what? Because, like, damn, this game is already full. The writing is funny. The art is cute. The music, give or take, because in some places it's just freaking annoying. Like every time you're in your master's, like your life master's house, is the same music. Is really annoying. Also, if I have one gripe with the game, it's the fucking camera. I hate the camera. The camera drives me nuts. I want to look up higher and it won't let me do it. And then sometimes it like moves itself because you get positioned a certain way where it just ends up top down. And I'm like, no, this is annoying. So the camera does piss me off sometimes. But everything else, from how the improvements that they made from the previous game when it comes to jumping around and choosing which different lives, because like I mentioned, the lives are connected. So you go out in the world. I want to craft a certain sword. Well, I got to go and find the items, and then I got to make it myself. So you venture out in the world as a paladin. And then you get all the iron that you need, and you go and grab that as a miner. And then you bring that back, and you craft it as a smith, a blacksmith. And so as you go through the leveling system for each piece, the pacing of how that is all set up as you're going through and doing things and the tasks and how they give you tasks that help you move forward in the game as long as you're kind of like following what the list of things that you need to do. If you're following that, you can move through the game so smoothly. Never do you find yourself like tired of the grind, because the grind doesn't really exist, because you're flipping between things so frequently that like you're like, ooh, I want to do this. Oh, I feel like crafting. Maybe I'll go out and find these, this item. Oh, maybe I just want to go and battle through this level and kill all these monsters, and that'll help me kind of level up that character. Like, and then there's a skill tree I'll tie to that. It's so well done in that sense, which reminds me a lot of the previous game. And then on top of that, there are characters that you can collect as you go through the map that gives you bonuses as you bring them with your party. So, like, there's, like, none of the... all of the systems are rewarding, but none ever gets so complex that you feel a point where you're just like, I don't know what to do. I hate the fact that I need to push through just to move on, because that never happens. And there's always a gazillion different tasks you could do, and each thing could like absorb you for a good hour, and then you'd be like, oh no, I want to go try this over here. And that is why it's so easy to play 32 hours over essentially 3 days.
Oh my god.
God damn.
If you were a fan of Zelda, if you were a fan of Animal Crossing, because there's a whole like base building, capturing characters, building their homes, decorating, terraforming. There's a whole system tied to that. There's farming. There's it's just mind blowing, and like no one had said anything. No one had really seen anything, and then just all of us. I was freaking worried, ladies. Really worried this wasn't going to do well. And now it's like everybody's really talking about now, and then in the run-up to Switch 2 coming out, and they announced that there's going to be an upgrade version that you can buy on the day of that the console launches, so I am going to be purchasing that and seeing what the difference is. But this game plays like butter on my pre-day one Switch.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, load times, barely anything. Graphics, gorgeous. I'm flabbergasted. I understand why it got as high as it did in the rankings of 86. Like, and they've talked about DLC coming down the line. Like, I'm going to be sad when this game is over, because I'm freaking loving it. It's now on one of my Game of the Year lists for sure.
I'm looking at the system requirements on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
The minimum is a GeForce GTX 750 Ti, which is the card I had in my previous computer that I bought in 2014 off NCIX. The recommended is a GTX 1060. They're not even recommended an RTX. These people knew. They were like, it needs to run like butter on Switch, and like people that have a potato connected to a monitor needs to be able to play this. And
yeah,
I salute you for your amazing optimization job, because that shit's hard.
Yeah. And like I said, I was trying to play this on airplane. I was just getting into it. You know, I find it really hard to start games the first time, not the second, third, or fourth time, as we've talked about in the past. But the first time, just learning systems, reading everything, I get overwhelmed with all the information that's kind of thrown at you right at first, especially if it's on a tiny screen with type and you're going through turbulence. So, like, that was a little hard to read. But now I'm playing on my 65-inch TV with my, the two Joy-Cons and just loving life, sitting on the couch cuddling with the dog for hours and hours and hours. And I'm wicked impressed. I cannot wait to see what this looks like on the Switch 2. Yeah.
Just I have a Steam review here open, and I think it really says what you said about the game. Let's make a necklace this morning. Oh, I need higher alchemy. Better level it up to make these potions. Oh, the potions need sharp claws. Better head to the dungeon and fight wolves. Oh, the wolves are behind a big mining node. Better go level my mining and farming gold ore. Oh, these gold ores are really tough. Better go make a better pickaxe. Oh, my blacksmithing is too low to make up this pickaxe. Better make a better hammer. Oh, the hammer needs golden cloth. Better go level up my tailoring. Wait, why is it dark outside?
Yep. Pretty much it. And then they didn't even mention, hey, by the way, you can decorate your island just like Animal Crossing. You can go and farm items. Oh, yeah. And meet up with your friends and go battle bosses in the, I guess, weird other dimension area that no one can really pronounce. Grosia? I don't know. It's with a G. It's hard to say. They never even said it out loud in the game, so no one knows how to say it. All right. That's Fantasy Life. I'm going to keep playing it until, well, definitely for next weekend, because I want to see it on the Switch too. And there's going to be more coming, but that pretty much closes out the show for this week. As always, check out the show notes on girlsongames.ca for links to all the social media references we've made in this episode, because we didn't talk about the news because we had other gabbing to do. But yeah, all the things we mentioned in the Pokemon stuff and the review of Dragon Age that Kat was watching, the 6-hour one on YouTube. If you have the power to rate and review the podcast where you're consuming it, that'd be much appreciated. Why? It helps with discovery, pushes us up in the rankings, and any comments you leave help us build our show. As always, I'd like to thank the crew for being on the podcast with me this week and chatting video games as we love to do every single week for the past 495 times. Catherine, where can people find you online?
I am CSDSBINS on Instagram, Blue Sky. Those are mostly the places I hang on, or threads. I posted some photos from Mexico on Instagram and a bit on Blue Sky. And on Instagram, you can also find the photo of my cherries that I got done on my leg by the lovely Clarence Bond here in Montreal. That's my second piece from her. She did my forearm, and now she did my leg. She did that massive piece in one setting.
Whoa.
I got tattooed for 5 hours straight with minimal breaks.
Oh, wow.
You're a beast, Catherine.
This is why I'm sick today.
Yeah, probably why.
Yeah, probably.
And the
let
next
it all
time I'm
out
like,
there.
I'm gonna get a nice big piece near like an articulation. Slap me. Be
Okay.
like, no.
That's probably why you're feeling under the
This
weather. That
healing
is true.
process, you hate it.
Yeah. Yeah. Joelle, where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram at JoelleLauren87, on Blue Sky at JoelleLauren, but always hanging out in the Girls on Games Discord, constantly posting about my bread. Come check us out and say hi.
And I am Leah Jewer on most social media platforms, but of course you want to know everything there is to know about Girls on Games. But before we get through that, reminders. Episode 500, aka Game on 500. You can join in. We're going to be recording it, locked in stone now, July 6, 2025 at 1 p.m. Eastern. We will post this all in the Discord channel. Don't you worry. Also, the Xbox Game Showcase and Summer Game Fest. We're going to be watching it on Discord this week. If you want to jump in and listen to it with us, come along. It'll be fun. We always have a good time. And maybe after Xbox on Sunday, there might be some Mario Kart action. We will see about that. But yeah, you want to find us on social media? You can track us down at The Girls on Games on X and Facebook. Just Girls on Games on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and TikTok. Discord.me/Girls on Games to continue this conversation and more. But of course, if you ever need to know anything at all, you can track it down at our home base. That's our website, girlsongames.ca. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Joelle. It's been another lovely week in video games, and I'm going to go craft and fight and build and gather and fantasy life. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.